De Grigley gives you the ability to look at the world as an artist. De Grigley delivers it in a different way. This school, within 9 months, will transform your life. You're not only going to be happy, but you're going to be wealthy. You're going to learn from the masters. You will be a phenomenal stylist, and you'll look at the world as an artist.
Discover the De Grigley difference at degrigley.com.
All right, so on some local news, there's the mayoral race happening in Springfield right now. And somebody was kicked out of the race, right?
Yes, Antoinette Pepe was.
Why?
Because that's how the primary works.
That's just how it rolls. She got only. She was a distant third runner. Mayor Sarno actually had a very large. Given the percentage of people that actually came out, I think it was like 14%. Mm-hmm. He had a pretty big voting count compared to Jose Casado versus Antoinette Pepe. So she was moved out. So the question I suspect would be, who are her supporters going to back?
She is, Pepe and Ben Swan have both endorsed Casado formally. So it'll be, it's definitely, everybody's putting their eggs in the Casado basket that wants change. And then you have, very strong Sarno supporters. So I was telling you guys off the camera, I think it's really interesting, sort of what's happening online. If you look at Mayor Sarno, he has a very bland, basic website with nothing social media driven. And on the flip side, you have Casado, who is very Facebook heavy. He's got 620 Facebook friends on his page, and then he's got a campaign page which has 218 likes. And then he's also doing Twitter and an RSS blog feed. So he's very much trying to tune into that kind of social media audience.
Yeah, I just got my friend request.
You did?
What's interesting is you have to think exactly who is he targeting, because when you look when you put heavily into social media, you're definitely targeting a particular population.
Absolutely.
And I think I know who might be driving that in his campaign, and they're really good.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Mayor Sarno, his campaign, he's kind of like the tortoise kind of guy. But
do you think that he's taking it for granted, though?
No, I don't think he's taking it for granted, honestly, because I'm quite sure, I hope that he remembers that when he ran against Charlie Ryan ran a really lazy, fat campaign, and he's lost, surprisingly, to Dominic Sarno. I'm thinking that Dominic is who he is, and I think that he's not that guy. He's not that guy who's going to be doing some fantastic website or Facebook page or something like that. He's kind of slow and steady.
But you surround yourself with people who
what the
are,
outcome is, I don't know. But
now, obviously, we have a community population in Springfield that is largely Hispanic, and we have a now Hispanic candidate running, Casado. And we were talking about it over dinner about if that'll influence the vote. So from my background being in marketing, the concept is like in the Latino population that you market to the family as a whole, that it's a very family-centric way of doing things. So you buy, one person doesn't buy a couch, but the whole family buys a couch. So you market to the family. And I'm wondering if Casado is going to be able to pick and pull at that Hispanic vote more so than, say, Sarno would. So I defer to our Latina on the panel and ask you your opinion. Do you think that?
I think it's gonna have a little bit with that whole thing of us. We're very, very together. We're always on. We want to do something. We stick together. We do it like little ants. We all go together. Everywhere. When you say, "Hey, Latinos goes up," we all merge to that whole thing. I think it is gonna have to do something with it. At the same time, yes, we do need a change and all that good stuff. I was reading a lot of stuff going on, and Tuzada has a lot of good points of what's going on. I don't have too much being here in Springfield, but what I've seen, and I've been very involved with the community, the Hispanic and all other races, and I don't know. I'm a strong believer that maybe we do need a change, and a lot of things that's going on. I think it's good, sad at the same time, but yes, we all stick together. But we do need to change. We do need what's going on. And if Sarno wants to do something, he needs to step it up to the game and start doing. And actually, action speaks for itself. Not just talk about it. Let's just do it.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. That's with any candidacy, it's kind of you can point out everything that's wrong, but can you tell us how you're going to fix it?
And that's exactly it, Gina.
And can
exactly.
you tell us in a way that we can believe
Yep.
that you're going to address these problems?
That's why I'm kind of happy that Pepe, I mean, I didn't know her that well. I did watch the debate, and she was very bulldog, very like, you did this wrong, you did,
Yeah, exactly.
And-
You did this wrong, you
yeah.
did this wrong. Well, okay, I did it wrong, but how would you do it better?
Right.
And could you do it better?
I think, and one thing that we also need to work on, I'm changing the subject a little bit, but one thing we need to work on is the bullying issue. Speaking of change and how would you make things better, we actually about 6 months ago had some people on, some lawyers on that were working with children who'd been bullied in South Hadley. And Millie brought to our attention something going on around bullying, and that involves the Walker family from Extreme Makeover Home Edition. Do you want to talk about that a little bit, Millie?
Yes. Actually, last night I was checking out the website and for the Extreme Makeover because I want to see what's going on with that. And actually, I bump into what says "Stand Together." So Mrs. Walker's, she actually at that day of Extreme Makeover, she had going on with these guys. A website called Stand Together, and actually when you sign up you get your own number, so they ask you what's your number. So I am number 4,956 of those people who actually supporting the anti-bullying, which is a community that is to create and dedicate talking about against bullying. And I think it's
So huge.
wonderful because it happens every day, and years ago maybe it wasn't really that noticeable before, but it was going on because I was a girl that was
Social media.
always bullied.
I was bullied.
I was bullied.
Really bad. So, you know,
Yeah.
I am very against to it. My son hates it as well, and, you know, my
Right.
boyfriend too. So I saw this, and yesterday I was pushing it on Facebook and all my social networks, and I was like, go, what's your number?
But I
So-
think that's also part of the key, as you said, social media, social networks, because everybody at some point in time, because people are people, and there's always going to be an element that just does not respect other people. That's the bully, that bullying part. But because we do have other media,
Yeah.
people now may bully online. It's opened up a whole
You don't
other
go
world.
home anymore
no, you
after
don't.
school
You're
and just
always
get
there.
away from the bully.
So therefore, now we can use that same, media, social media, to really make it as big as it's become. Because on media, on social media, on the internet, and anything else, it's a lot easier for people to do things that it wasn't, as easy to do years ago.
It's so funny how it sticks
Sending
with
text
you.
messages
It
and
sticks
stuff.
with you forever, though, when you're bullied. Like
Oh, I remember.
I remember 5th grade, Birchland Park Middle School in East Long Meadow, lunch line, getting my chicken patty. Dan
remembers
Bruno, who, by the way, is now a cop in East Long Meadow. Hi, Dan. Officer
Nice
Bruno.
job, Dan.
He called me. He
formed
called
her
me
life.
Gorilla Monsoon Munson. He has since apologized,
Well, he
but because
Gorilla
he's,
Monsoon.
he now has handcuffs and a gun. So I sort of said, okay. But you remember it forever. Like that's something that's so ingrained in you, and it's something that it's so hard, especially because kids throw around, you're so gay. And that's something that kids, and I know in the case of the Walker family, that was something that he dealt with quite a bit. And a lot of these kids, they're growing up with uniforms, and they're growing up. I have a girlfriend who she's from the islands. And in the islands, your children are very, they are taught with high levels of respect. So when she dresses her boys to go to school, they wear their uniform, their shoes are shined, they go, yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes please, thank yous. And because of that, somebody that might not be brought up in that family style, who's maybe got a little more of the thug attitude, associates that with being gay, because it's being sissy, it's being prissy. And so he was being bullied, and she went down to the school, as did Sardiner, and fortunately in our case, because he's a great little boy, was able to intervene. But it's scary stuff. I mean, you guys have kids. I can't, what do you do? How do you,
You have to communicate.
Yeah, communicate a lot with your children. Like, I always talk to my son all the time. It's like, because sometimes they will be outside playing around, whatever. He's like, Ma, he just called me this. Ma, and I'm like, kind of like, I have to make him strong because he is a boy. But at the same time, yes, I don't want him to do the same thing and whatever. And I always try to communicate with him. He has a great father. My boyfriend, he is amazing. And he always talks to him. He always, Bobby, I got your back. Please talk to me. So we always try to make that happen with our children. Always be their parent, but at the same time, their friend.
Yeah.
So they can be very open to you. And I always talk to them. And like you said, us from the
you
Caribbean.
and you have girls, right?
I have 4 children. I have 2
I know you
girls
have
and
4,
2
but-
boys. Yeah.
So do you think, what about the boy-girl difference?
Well, You know what? It really can be very, very similar because, like as I said, people just need to learn how to respect. Number one, and then number two, from the flip side, we need to just make sure that we, as a society, as parents, as professionals, are helping people to understand that we're not all exactly alike. That's okay, but we have to just respect each other's existence and that character that we each have shine through.
Yeah, and I think what a missing component that really pisses me off is schools, principals, guidance counselors, teachers.
You have to be extra.
You can't just let things roll.
Yeah.
You can't just let people talk any old way because your discipline and your demand for respect has to be felt throughout that school.
People
you
have
set
to
that
know.
pace. People have to know you can't do this, and don't wimp out when a parent comes to you. Oh, I can't do blah blah blah. No.
Well, and one thing that young women need is role models.
Yeah.
And when you're
And
talking about the
boys.
woman and boy, I'm talking particularly about women for a reason. One thing that women need is role models. And actually, Western Mass Women Magazine is sponsoring an awards dinner for the 25 top women in the area. And that's going to be on October 11th. Right?
I believe it's the 13th.
I'm sorry, October 13th. I apologize.
I think it's the 13th.
When City Stage came on, all these dates in my head. October 13th. I'm so excited. I forgot. But and I think most of us are going to be there. And you want to talk about some strong women that are role models for the community. They're going to all be there.
You know, I mean, here's one right here. Right? Here's one of ours.
Alicia's one of them. She was talking before she joined us, by the way.
Buy a ticket for, if you have a teen or a preteen daughter, buy a ticket. Bring her and let her see what it's like to be able to walk this path instead of this path.
Exactly.
And it's in that moment. It's that choice that can make you go either direction. What were you going to say?
Just the events. I don't know if you said the Chez Joseph. Did you mention that?
I did not say because
Chez Joseph. We do have some details on the website, westernmasswomen.com, where you can purchase tickets. And and it's October 13th, so we definitely hope to see everyone there.
And we have a
Give me
new
your lunch
issue
money.
coming out too,
Yes,
right?
October 1st, our holiday issue.
Sorry, I'm bullying Alicia for her lunch money.
October 1st is the Western Mass Women holiday issue.
Okay.
And so that will be, by the time this posts online, our new issue will be out. So definitely look for that on newsstands.
And we do have in some upcoming episodes, Dana and I have been working really hard at getting some new products for the holidays,
Yes,
right?
for
So we're
our
going to
buy
have
the
some, that's right, for our buy of the weeks, and we're going to have some volunteers or people, Jill, that we rope in to try some of the things on, Gina. So we're very excited about those buy of the week. So you've got to stay tuned, because the holiday issue will have some of the buy of the weeks in there too.
Test dummy.
By the way, no, surprises. But anyway,
It's not Oprah. You're not getting a car, and you're not getting a car.
well, you never know with IMO.
You never
We
know.
will see you, IMO, in my opinion, or in all of our opinion. We'll see you soon. Bye.